Good morning everyone and welcome to today's video. So you'll see in the background there's a little bit of a snippet of something new on the driveway today. So what we're going to do, you've probably seen by the thumbnail, but let's go give it a wash and then we'll introduce the car behind me. Okay, so you've just seen we've given it a wash and here it is. So it's a R50, so it's a 2004 plate, R50. So it's wrapped in this lovely chameleon colour, and I'll try and catch it in a moment on camera properly and sort of insert it over here. In terms of that colour, it's such an amazing colour. So I know there was a factory option for that colour, but not, that's actually a wrap on this car. So what we'll do now is we'll do a bit of a walk round of it and just give you an idea of what we actually plan to do with it. Okay, so let's give you a bit of a tour around the car. So you can see, first of all, those white wheels stand out on top of that chameleon wrap. That chameleon wrap is so nice. You look at the colour. Even when you get to sort of this angle over here, you start to see the browns come in and the oranges, and I think that there, it's a shame it looks like these are potentially a different direction because it doesn't quite line up there, but everything else looks really smart on this car. You've got the aftermarket black headlights, sort of the aero kit, just looks really good. If we go inside and just look, so they've matched the dash and the door cards with the exterior. Got the 3-spoke steering wheel, some sort of aftermarket head unit. Looks like it's potentially got a 6-speed upgrade. We'll talk about that in a second. We go around to the back. Got those smoke tail lights, aftermarket exhaust, and then the aero kit on it. So it's really smart. So let's get that bonnet popped. We'll just show you under there because that's certainly interesting. I think the thing you can tell is, although I think the previous owner that I purchased this off didn't do any of the work to it, they sort of owned it as a daily car. I think the person that owned this beforehand really did love this car because the wrap, I have to say, is one of the best wraps I've seen. It's starting to lift in a couple of places, but where you'd normally see crease marks on minis around these sort of areas and some of the joins and things, I'm just not seeing it. So if anyone knows the history of this car, please reach out to me and let me know, because I'd love to know who actually wrapped it. We can see here they've certainly gone for a bit of pink and lilac. We've got the aftermarket intake, but this is the interesting thing for me. Down here, if you see the gearbox is just there, and you might be able to just make out under my finger it says R53, and it also says it here. So I wonder whether this has had a 6-speed conversion, which gives you better gear ratios, and obviously the gearbox that comes with the R50 aren't the strongest, so that's a good upgrade to do. So this R50 has actually had quite a bit of money spent on it at some point, even down to the fact they've matched the brakes to the outside of the car, which is quite smart. So I know straight away your big question is, well, why have I brought an R50? And that's an interesting one. So it's one that came up on one of my searches. I don't have an R50 search in eBay, but it appeared anyway, so it was like it was fate. So this came up, it caught my eye straight, obviously, with the colour of it. So I read a little bit deeper. So it's a car that's been for sale for a while on eBay, been dropped in price. Basically, it's got a issue where the clutch pedal is to the floor. There's clutch fluid everywhere, and it doesn't go into gear. So potentially the master cylinder or the clutch has failed on this car. So the seller just wanted rid of it, and I think he got messed around a couple of times, which you tend to do when you're selling modified cars. And I ended up getting it for a steal. I'm not going to lie, it was a really good price. So what are my plans for it? So I did think about fixing it and putting it back on the road and selling it on. But what I'm actually going to do, because there's so many parts in this, it'd be really good to, I'm going to say that the swear word that people don't like is break the car, but use it on the YouTube channel to actually film some of the stuff I haven't done before on first gen. So one of the things everyone screams out for whenever I post anything up is more first gen content. So you couldn't get more first gen than an R50 or an R53. So what I'm going to do is actually, as I take this car apart and strip it down to sell the parts on, I'm going to record every bit of it. So whether it's removing rear lights, removing the bumpers, how to remove an exhaust, the boot lid, the boot handle, door mirrors, every part that comes off this car, I'll record so that I can show you basically if you need to repair or replace. Because these cars are getting old, and I know a lot of people like to DIY it. I'm going to cover it to make it as easy as possible for everyone out there that maybe has one of these but doesn't have the money to send it off to a garage to switch the boot lid or do some of the simple jobs that you can just do on your driveway. I'm not a mechanic, everyone knows that watches the channel, so hopefully you'll find it interesting. So it's not going to be a build series, it's going to be the complete opposite. It's going to be a tear down and how to strip this down, and there is an end goal. I haven't just done it for obviously the videos, that's a really big bonus. But actually what I want to try and do is, so I've mentioned in the previous video, we're doing a lot of building work on the housework over the next year. So what I wanted to try and do was incorporate a bit of a budget build, or a road to a budget build. So I want to build up a pot of money to be able to build another first gen. So something a little bit different. It's not going to be an R53, but we'll talk about that in a future video. But what I want to do is use this car. So this car, basically, to get the money for it, I traded up from basically selling 2 sets of wheels. So the damaged wheels off the F56 and the Countryman wheels, sold those this week. That gave me the money to actually buy this R50. So that's how cheap this went. It was 2 sets of OEM wheels. Then I'm going to obviously part out and make lots of videos on this one. Then I'll use the money that I've made from the part out to potentially purchase other cars similar to this in a similar situation where they may have found an MOT, there's some sort of engine failure or something wrong with them, and do a similar set of videos and things like that. So, and keep trading my way up to the next project. So what I want to try and do is show actually you don't need a big bundle of cash to start with to do a really good mini project. So let's see where we end up to in terms of what mini we end up with and what mods we can do. But the plan is to literally start off. So I've started off with a set of 2 wheels, traded up to this mini. Let's part this out, see what we can make from that, and see what car we can then purchase, and just keep trading our way up until we get enough to not only purchase a decent, or not necessarily decent, but a working first gen mini, and then go through the modifications. And what I'm going to try and do is actually pull the money to do that project purely from the trading up of parts. So what I am going to do is set up probably an Instagram page that I'll set down below, and a Facebook page where I'm going to be selling all of the mini parts off this car. So if you've seen anything on this R50 that you're interested in, everything's going to be for sale over the coming months as I start to strip that down. So I'll share the link below as well. If you could go and follow that Instagram and Facebook page, and then you'll get alerts every time parts go for sale for that. And let's see if we can trade our way up to a really good first gen build, because we've got the F56 for covering the 3rd gen. We've got the Paceman hiding over there, cover 2nd gen. Let's see if before the 4th gen comes out, let's see if we can build another first gen. So it's going to be something interesting. So R53 owners, I'm going to be building another one, or definitely something with a supercharger anyway. So let's see where we can get to. So hopefully that explains. So this car, as I say, isn't going to be a build. It is going to be a set of videos on how to strip down an R53 or an R50, because pretty much everything's the same. So let's strip down a first gen and cover all the bits on how to swap them out. If you've got any specific requests in terms of first gen videos that I can record with this car, please comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see me remove or replace on this car, so I can show you exactly how to do that in a future video. And I think that'll be really good with this one, is to actually have some involvement with you guys and get some requests in terms of what you want to see me remove if I haven't already done a video on it, and we'll get that recorded for you and get it up onto the channel. So keep an eye out, there'll be a new playlist in terms of, or actually we'll add to our first gen how-to playlist, and we'll show you exactly what we're doing with this car and stripping it down. So if you found today's video entertaining, please hit that thumbs up button, so you can like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get alerts with all this first gen content that's going to be coming. And it's one of those that a lot of people have asked for first gen content. I didn't realize actually how popular the first gen still was until I actually got rid of my last green R53. So I don't want to build another hatchback R53, just because I've done that a couple of times now, and it will end up exactly the same as I did the green one, because for me that was the perfect first gen for how I wanted it. But I'm going to try something a little bit different at some point, so let's see how far we can get with trading up bits on this and taking the money that I raised from that and put it straight back into the YouTube channel to build another car. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.